Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome. Welcome to a Monday edition of Morning Scone, presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, HUDCO Roofing, HUDCORoofing.com, Restored Motions, and RestoredMotions.com. All right, glad to have you here with us. Hope you had a great Sunday. You'll see it there in the headline. BJ Ojulari on Sunday declared for the draft. We talked a little bit about that yesterday. You were probably going to start to see some of those announcements start up again. I have not yet been able to confirm if Ojulari intends to play in the bowl game. So Jay Ward declared for the draft and is going to play in the bowl game. I do not yet know about Ojulari. I did make some calls yesterday to try to find out. I sent BJ a message, but I have not heard back. So working to get confirmation there if he plans to play or if he's gone. So, but BJ Ojulari declares no big surprise. I think we all expected that. The big surprise was last Monday when we found out Kayshawn was staying, right? So no surprises so far with draft or portal announcements, except for the good news that Kayshawn's staying. I guess counterbalanced by the disappointing news that Jack Bech is leaving, but I think we knew that a week ago. Okay. Also, Pels win yesterday. They beat the Suns. Really fun game. Kind of glad the Saints didn't play yesterday, so I could watch that Pels Suns game. Went to overtime. Pels scored on their first 6 possessions of overtime. Got the stops they needed. And that's also significant for tiebreaker purposes. The two teams will play again this coming Saturday in Phoenix, so the season series will be over. You play 4 times, so the season series will be over on Saturday, which is disappointing. You won't get any late season matchups with these two, but great opportunity for New Orleans to win the season series on Saturday. At worst, you tie, and so for tiebreaker purposes, that could be significant. So. And then LSU football back on the practice field today, y'all. They begin bowl prep today. So they begin bowl prep, and you know what? I know Steven asked me yesterday about the bowl schedule, and they never sent it. LSU Sports Information was supposed to send us a bowl practice schedule. They said over the weekend they did not send it yesterday. So still waiting on what that bowl schedule is going to, the practice schedule will look like. Let me see what time they're going today if they tweeted us. Hang on. Sorry. Real quick. Here we go. Men's basketball availability. Yeah, no, nothing on football time. Men's basketball availability is today at 12:30. So, okay, let's say some good morning. See what y'all got. We're taking Drew this morning to his cardiology appointment. His 6-month cardiology checkup. So, T's and P's, thoughts and prayers. Speak of the devil. I think he's awake in his bed. May go get him in a second. So, Stephen Miller, good morning. Kelly Gross, good morning. Stephen, I wouldn't expect PJ to play in the bowl personally. I mean, I agree with you, right? I mean, isn't that just sort of the way that this has gone now, where the guys that declare don't play in the bowl unless if it's like a playoff bowl or an access, or one of the New Year's Six bowls. So I would tend to agree. But then again, like I would not have thought Jay Ward would have been playing, but he says he's going to play. So. I'd like to confirm it before I say anything about it, but I do agree. I mean, it doesn't make any sense really for him to play. And you know what? If he doesn't play, my guess is they would start Xavier Carter at the jack, and that would be a pretty good run for him, man. Get him some run to see how he looks at that spot because he's likely your starter there next year. Now, with the caveat, of course, that they could add and are expecting to add edge players via the portal. So. Paul Losi, good morning. Hey, Dad, good morning. Jason Horn. Brent Roban, morning, Scone. Wonder how strong of a group we can bring in to fill the gaps. Curious what the odds are for LSU to win the West again and beat Georgia. So, yeah, Brent, I don't know that you're going to get odds on that yet because most people don't know, like you don't know what rosters are going to look like, right? So sometime probably in the spring, I would guess you'd start to get some of those futures bets. Like you might get, like right after the national championship, you might get futures bets on next year's playoff teams. But I was thinking about that yesterday, oddly, about, if I would pick it, if I think LSU could win the West again next year. And the thing is, you beat Bama this year, obviously. And, look at the 2 and 6. You, of course, you have to play them in Tuscaloosa next year. But, of course, Alabama's going to lose Bryce Young. And you've already seen a little bit of an exodus there. They've lost 2 starting offensive linemen. One to the portal. Listen, I'm not ever going to doubt Nick Saban's ability to restock, reload, but the things that made them dominant were their play at the line of scrimmage. And we saw it this year, man. They weren't the same team. So can you reload that in a year? Maybe, but I think that's what they have to do. And if not, yeah, I think LSU will have a great chance again. Let's see. Truax, what's good? Stephen Miller, I'm guessing that means no presser today. Correct. So, Stephen, they do the Monday pressers only on game week. So, that's, like on the bye week, they don't do a Monday presser. You talk about the Brian Kelly press conference. So, those are only on, that's the Monday of a game week is the only time they do those. So, like, you'll get your first one, the season, like the Monday before the first game, and then every Monday subsequent except for the bye week. So, so no Monday presser with Brian Kelly. Jordan Coleman, Matt, just over a month, and I'm going to be a dad. Good. All right, Jordan Coleman. That's awesome, man. Be a happy holidays for y'all. I hope mom and baby are doing awesome. Spurge, good morning, Matt Plavidal. Crusaders got hammered. Yes, they did. A little bit of a bummer, man. The teams that I was pulling for in the Dome didn't go great. Dunham lost, was pulling for Neil Weiner. Rustin lost to Destrahan, was pulling for Stephen Ensminger Jr., who's on staff there. And then Brother Martin's my dad's alma mater. We'd go to those games when I was a kid. Brother Martin lost. They got shut out by John Curtis. Let's see, Jesse Brown. Morning, Matt. Great win yesterday for the Pelicans. Can this team sustain this success? Yes, Jesse. And the reason is because of their depth. Keep in mind, they don't even have Brandon Ingram or Herb Jones right now. I mean, they're down 40% of their starting lineup with those 2 guys out. So you're doing it right now with with your depth, with your bench. Dyson Daniels, the rookie, is playing fantastic. Very committed defender. Yeah, of course they can. Now, and I think it was Jake Madison brought up this point last week on AFR from Locked on Pelicans, and he's right. Now, listen, the question is when you start talking about can they win a title, your depth doesn't matter as much when you get to the postseason because usually you pare your rotation down to about 8 guys, and that's it. And your 8 thereabouts have to be better than the other team's 8 in the best of 7 series. So it's a different game, essentially, that you're playing at that point. But can they sustain this? Absolutely, because they're doing it right now with their depth. Von Bluesman, good morning. Wacky Chris, good morning. BJ going to the draft is the best decision for him. Wishing the best of luck. Yeah, you know what else, Chris? I tweeted this, but I mean it. BJ Ojulari came here, like, super highly regarded, obviously. His brother went to Georgia. Aziz was a first-round draft pick. And so BJ, those guys who were, I'm always gonna look fondly on those guys in the 2020 class because they signed with LSU after the Natty and they got here and immediately experienced the antithesis of that. It was COVID. It was a terrible year. And then the next year, they fire Ogeron halfway through, another miserable year. And most of those guys left. I mean, I know we've run through the list before, but look at the LSU 2020 signing class. I mean, it's staggering when you think about when you expect 3/4 of your recruiting class to stay and become the foundation of your program. These would have been your juniors this year. Eric Gilbert gone, Elias Ricks gone, Kayshawn, Jaquelin Roy are still here. Philip Webb gone. Jordan Toll's gone. Ojulari still here. Jacoby Guillory still here. Sampa, Doomerville, Trey Bradford's gone. Josh White's gone. Max Johnson's gone. Eric Taylor's gone. Dwight McLaughlin's gone. Coy Moore's gone. Alex Adams is gone. TJ Finley's gone. You know what I mean? Like, so those guys from the 2020 class that signed and stayed and helped sort of rebuild this thing, this year under Brian Kelly, they could have, any of those guys could have easily left after the COVID year. They could have easily left after last year as well. But man, I got a lot of, y'all can't, YouTube can't hear me? Last year as well. I hear me. Okay. Anyway, I was just saying, don't tell trivia that YouTube's volume messed up. I was just saying that the 2020 signing class, I have a lot of respect for those guys, like B.J. Ojulari, like Kayshawn Booty, like Roy Guillory, the guys who stayed, because usually your roster, by this point, those would be your juniors. Rapping Batcher says he never lost it. Anyway, basically I'm saying respect to the guys from the 2020 class that stayed, because overwhelmingly, like 3/4 of your class is gone. And it would have been easy for a guy like B.J. Ojulari to go somewhere else and go to a contender and play, but he stayed, wore the number 18, leader on the team, all that stuff. Got LSU back to an SEC championship game. So much respect for Ojulari and all the guys in the 2020 class who stayed. All right. Patrick Ramos, good morning. When are we getting the video of you doing the gritty? I don't know. Right when we finished yesterday, I did the gritty right out of the room. Paul Lawson's, Brady Smith, Jason H. Good morning from 37,000 feet above North Carolina. All right, Jason. Hopefully that's that free Wi-Fi. Robert Taylor, good morning. Don Juan Jose, yeah, prayers for Mike Leach. I don't have any information there, y'all. For those who haven't heard, Mike Leach, they said had an episode at his home, went to a hospital, and was said to be in critical condition. So there was one Mississippi State writer who said Mike Leach needs a miracle. So I don't have any more information, but yes, sincerely, that's one of those things where then it goes beyond just football. It's like just you realize the fragility of life, and you just think about the person who's got a family and all that stuff. Wendell Norman, good morning. All right, Jason's headed to NYC, getting your morning scone on. All right. Let's see, the NFC South is so bad. Hey, isn't that why? I mean, last Monday's loss to Tampa stings so badly, because you could look ahead and say, and now Tampa's got to go across the country to San Fran. Had the Saints not blown it on Monday Night Football, they would be tied right now in the loss column for first place in the division. Unbelievable. Devin Kelly, good morning. Let's see, Vaughn, any word on Mississippi State coach? No, do not have any update on Leach, sorry. Kyle Milliken, good morning. Taz, good morning. I read Jeff Duncan's article yesterday. Said Sean Payton is open to return to the Saints. So Taz, we talked about that yesterday here on Morning Scone. It was the primary topic we talked about yesterday. I don't know that I would put a very strong probability or likelihood, but if he is open to it and you maintain his rights for the next 2 years, there is no better person for the job than Sean Payton. The awkward thing, obviously, is you have a coach in Dennis Allen. So Gail Benson and Mickey Loomis, who like Dennis Allen a lot, need to make the decision if they move on. We've talked about, for as much as we've talked about Payton, I've just assumed, and I've said this, like, I've just, wherever he goes, I'm fine, whatever, just give me the draft picks. I'm mentally and emotionally put myself in that state, but that's because I never thought he'd come back, because I never would have thought they'd even be in this position or situation where they'd be potentially firing Dennis Allen after 1 year. It's stunning. I didn't think they'd be here. Jason H. Team Drew, thank you very much. Mike Stogner, morning, Matt. Had to ask, have you had to go back to mall to get your wife bath bombs when the snake got loose last year? There's a snake in the mall. Honestly, dude, I was thinking about that today. Because, she always gets bath bombs for Christmas. I'm like, do I go in that mall? Or do I, to go get the bath bombs? Or do I just order them from, do I just order them and get them mailed? I don't know. I'll keep you posted. Jason Champagne, good morning. Robert Taylor, Spurge, good morning. Brad David, with Tampa looking so bad, that makes the Saints losing so frustrating. Correct. Honestly, Brad, that's what we could all say about every team in the division, though. Weston Weaver, morning, Matt. Me and my girls just prayed for you guys. Thank you, Weston. Appreciate that very much. And thank you to your daughters as well. That's awesome. Chaz Willie, can Wiggins play, or is he already at 4 games? Yeah, they're redshirting Wiggins, so no, he's not going to play. And I think Quincy Wiggins is probably going to end up playing that spot. Well, we'll see, but he's big enough to where he could even play interior. But I think he's going to end up playing that sort of big end spot that Ali Gay was playing, where Savion Jones played. But man, the thing I'll tell you about Matt House is he's gotten so creative with the different looks and fronts, where they'd even put Mekhi Wingo on the outside at times. So they'll have all that sort of. But to answer your question, Quincy Wiggins is not going to play. Jeremy Sagely, good morning. Let's see. Appreciate all the kind words for Drew, y'all. Chuck Sanchez, what's up, Chuck? Get it? Up, Chuck? Where are we? David Knowlton, good morning. Let's see, Brant, wonder if Purdue is going to have as much fight with their head coach leaving. Yeah, Brant, that's why the point spread went the way it did, right? So I think it opened at 5, and it's now at 10. So it was kind of creeping up whenever the word started spreading that Braum might be leaving, and then last week when he took that job, it popped up to 10. So that's why LSU's such a heavy favorite in the game. Let's see. Chris Keller, good morning. Jason Horn. Okay, so he switched to Facebook because the audio was dropping. If anyone else is having trouble on YouTube with the audio, let me know. Or if we're good now. Charlie Gale, what's going on? Where are we? Stephen Miller, reading the reports, it sounds very, very bad. Hey, you're talking about Leach, yeah, again, I don't have any info. I haven't called or texted anybody that covers that team. I'll just wait to hear like everybody else will. But yeah, whenever there was one beat writer for Mississippi State that said, pray for Mike Leach, he needs a miracle. I was like, oh man. Here it is. It was Robbie Falk, who covers Mississippi State for 247 Sports and the Starkville Daily. He tweeted last night, about 11 hours ago, Mike Leach needs a miracle, folks. Continue to pray. And then Ross Dellinger tweeted, Mike Leach's health situation is critical. Keep the coach and his family in your thoughts. Okay. Bubba Smith, good morning. Let's see, how big of a jump is LSU making at pitching compared to last season? Y'all slide into those baseball questions. Massive. Just consider how much bubblegum and duct tape they needed with that rotation a year ago. This year you're going to have dudes throwing mid-upper 90s watching or hoping to pitch in the midweek. Like, they're going to be really good. Steven, LSU Purdue lines held steady at LSU 10.5 all weekend. Caesars, it's 11.5. Jeez. I can't sit here and tell you I know enough. I mean, I watched some of Purdue this year. I mean, I know they got Aiden O'Connell at quarterback, and he's a 6-year player, and I would assume he's going to play in this game. Man alive, 11.5 for LSU against anybody is a lot. But if they come motivated, ready to play, and you catch Purdue on a, on an emotional dump, yeah, I mean, boy, that's a lot of points. Cliff Nelson, good morning. Rapid Batches, good morning. Any word on LSU women's basketball game was canceled? Yeah, it was. I mean, they said health and safety protocols in UNO's program, so that's COVID. Yes. Saint for life. I don't believe the report about Payton. I personally think we need to move on so we can rebuild. Saints need the draft capital. I will completely and wholly disagree with you. And again, it's not a report. There's some things in there we know, which is Sean Payton wants to coach again. The Saints do retain his rights. And if he would be open to returning to New Orleans, you 100% do that. Like, you don't move on from a great coach. Like, you aren't firing Sean Payton. He decided to go recharge the batteries. He's going to coach somewhere next year. I would rather the proven thing, the given commodity, the person who knows the culture of the locker room, these players, the talent, who is a known offensive guru and can develop a quarterback. Yes, give me that guy. Would you want to go take a shot in the dark with Ken Dorsey? Come on, y'all. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if you have the possibility of bringing back Sean Payton, you 100% do it without even thinking twice. Joseph Feltwell, the way the Bucs lost yesterday makes our loss that much worse. Yes. Kyle Milliken, Jesse Brown. Let's see, where are we? That's all audio. Sorry. Okay, yeah, so Devin, good point. So Devin said, for those of y'all who are watching on YouTube who lost audio, he said close out and then restart. And that worked for some. So try to troubleshoot that if you can. Thanks, Devin. Appreciate that. Yeah, y'all, and I know on Facebook sometimes it's happened before, and people have said if you just like hit the back, like just tap your screen and go back like 10 seconds, it catches up or whatever. Hey, Brian Penn, good morning from Terre Haute, Indiana. Okay. Trivia Carter, good morning. Trivia, YouTube having audio problems this morning. Facebook's fine. YouTube's having problems this morning. All right, I got to get going, y'all. I got to get Drew. Drew's cardiology is at 8:30, so it's in 36 minutes. So I need to get him up, get him dressed, and get him out real quick anymore. Leon, I think San Diego's going to make a playoff run. The Rams aren't going to fire McVay, so Payton. There is no team in San Diego anymore, Leon, by the way. It's the Los Angeles Chargers. But yes, I know what you mean. But remember, Payton has also been linked to teams like the Raiders, the Cardinals, yes, the Chargers, Dolphins. There's a lot of spots that would be appealing. But I would agree with you. Cheer for the Chargers to keep winning so they don't fire their coach. Marcus Thomas, Jaden Daniels going to be healthy for the bowl game. He'll be healthy. The question is if he's returning, and I don't know the answer to that yet. Damon Perkins, Dwayne Official. Let's see. Denver Harrison's family are meeting with Kelly this weekend. Look, man, great player. You got a lot of off the field stuff you got to iron out with him. If they're comfortable with that stuff, okay. For those who don't know, it's a defensive back from Texas A&M. Let's see, Troy Hebert. Trivia, you want me to do the show on TikTok Live? I'll do TikTok Live if you want to watch it. I'll do it on whatever platform. Okay, Mark Vitanovich, good morning. Zion Williamson, early MVP candidate. Keeps playing like this, yeah. I mean, that's one of the things. If you want to put a futures bet and you want good odds, you'll never get better odds on Zion than you will now, because if he keeps playing and stays healthy, his odds will keep going up, 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 up. So, yeah. All right, Garland Harold, good morning from Marion, Indiana. Does Lewis Hamilton win his 8th title this year? What's Lewis Hamilton? a British race car driver? Sure. Okay, I gotta go. Y'all have an awesome day. As always, shout out to Brock. Banners Orthopedic Clinic, of course, need an orthopedist, go to Brock. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Hudco's pin in the chat. Love to give you a free, no obligation roofing inspection. Restored Motions and RestoredMotions.com. If you got pain, book a session with Crystal Poche. Relief is just a session away at Restored Motions. Okay, y'all have an awesome day. Thanks so much for watching. We'll talk to y'all for AFR 3. Peace.